Good morning.
Hold on a second. You're live.
Good morning, and welcome to the third annual Berkshire Nonprofit Awards put on the Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires in partnership with the Berkshire Eagle. My name is Smitty Pignatelli, and I proudly serve as your state representative for the 4th Berkshire District. And we're coming to you live from this absolutely gorgeous Berkshire Innovation Center, and are in fact the first to use their new recording studio space. Don't worry, we are social distancing, wiping down surfaces, and wearing masks off camera, but we do miss seeing you. The last 2 events that you've been to, we had overflow crowds with live breakfasts. You're making your own breakfast today, but we hope it's as good as what they served at the Berkshire Hills Country Club last year. But we also hope that this virtual session is as inspiring as the live event. If you want to eat bacon and eggs while you're watching, feel free. You want to make a couple phone calls? No one's going to be watching you, so do what you have to do. The Nonprofit Center has worked very hard to pull together not only the awards event, but 2 full days of programming geared towards nonprofit sustainability to help you succeed in these unprecedented times. Nonprofits employ 25% of the Berkshire workforce. Think about that. 25% of our workforce is working at nonprofits. You deserve our support as an economic driver in Berkshire County. You all do such critical work, especially during these times of crisis. I'd like to take a moment to have a nod to our frontline workers and all the nonprofits that provide the services we need and value. I want to take a special moment. You hear a lot about flattening the curve. You hear that locally, you hear it statewide and nationally. Our doctors and nurses and first responders on the front lines each and every day have not only flattened the curve in the Berkshires, in my opinion, we have obliterated the curve. They've done a wonderful job and then have proven that if God forbid there's a second wave or another surge of this coronavirus, we are more than prepared here in the Berkshires. So a big shout out to them. And I wouldn't want to mention first responders without acknowledging the grocery store clerks. The people who are there each and every day, stocking the shelves, the volunteers who are making meals, delivering food, doing some wonderful things. I've coined a phrase, it's about being Berkshire. So let's all be Berkshire and say congratulations to all these nonprofit award winners. Today, we are honoring 22 people for their passion and dedication. And over 65 people are involved today between the awards event and the Nonprofit Sustainability Summit that follows. We celebrate our honorees and take pride in our nonprofit sector, including so many in our community who support nonprofits, especially all of the banks and credit unions for processing payroll protection loans, keeping people at work, keeping businesses afloat, foundations providing crisis funding, and all of our amazing volunteers and donors. At this point, the rock star of today's show is my dear friend with the greatest name in Berkshire County, Liana Toscanini. She had a dream to have this Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires get established 4 years ago, and this is our 3rd annual event. She deserves so much credit for the wonderful work she does. My dear friend, Liana Toscanini.
Thank you, Smitty. I think I'm blushing. First, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today with us, co-emceeing with me when there's all this stuff going on. So I really appreciate your time. Hi, virtual audience. Thank you for joining us. There are over 200 of you with me this morning, and I'm kind of sad I can't see you, but welcome and thank you for being with us to honor our nonprofit heroes. To our sponsors who believe in nonprofit work and support nonprofit work and value us all getting together to celebrate the people who make it happen in our county, thank you for your support. I want to acknowledge the nominators today who took the time out in the middle of a pandemic to fill out our application form in support of their staff members or coworkers. You did tremendous work and we thank you for your efforts because without nominations, we don't have any awards, so thank you. Kudos also to our judges. They had some really difficult decisions to make and they did such a thoughtful job. And we want to thank them for their time in reading through all those nominations. They were very committed and they did a fabulous job. I'm going to take this opportunity to just briefly mention our brand new Philanthropy in the Schools program funded by Guardian Life. We are in pilot mode right now at Reed Middle School. And here you see Leanne Massery's 8th graders. They're actually continuing with this program all semester long, doing it now virtually. And they've learned all about the Berkshire nonprofit sector. They've learned about philanthropy. And we're getting to the exciting moment in the program where they get to research nonprofits and make a donation to a nonprofit. And what better time, right? So we thank Guardian Life and our Breakfast Club sponsors. Breakfast Club sponsors are people, individuals and businesses who want to help us roll out this program, possibly in the fall and certainly in spring 2021. So we thank our very first Breakfast Club sponsors. And if you would like to join them and help us teach more students how to give back, how to give back to the community, then please join us. I want to extend my appreciation to the NPC board. They've been so proactive over the last 2 months, not just on behalf of the NPC, but also on behalf of all of you, because they are leading programs such as the virtual town hall we just had with the Berkshire delegation, and also this program today. Almost all of them are involved. So thank you, NPC board, you rock. A big shout out to our 140 plus members. We really appreciate your support. It helps us do things like this, and we are definitely stronger together. Don't forget to order your free bumper sticker, Nonprofits Rock. You can do so by emailing Elizabeth at npcberkshires.org. Elizabeth Stone, many of you know her. She's our marketing manager. She's a complete powerhouse. And we thank her for all her hard work, especially in the last 2 months when we put on so many new programs on the fly. She's amazing, and we really appreciate her. Please note that today's program is being recorded and will be available for viewing at a later date. And finally, I'd like to congratulate our honorees. You all are so inspiring to me, and I'm really glad that our board chair, Erica Allison, was able to personally interview all of you, all 22 honorees. And the audience will hear little segments of that throughout the program. So Erica, thank you so much for taking so many hours this week to do that. So now we go back to Smitty, and we are social distancing our way off camera here.
Thank you very much, Liana, and leave it to a rock star to come up with a slogan for a bumper sticker, Nonprofits Rock. But congratulations on that. I can't wait to get one. We hear a lot about the media and fake news and all that on local TV and national TV. But thank goodness our major sponsor, major media sponsor is once again the Berkshire Eagle. Without them, this would not have been possible. Local news is so critically important during these times. I don't want to know necessarily what's going on in California or Montana. I like to know what's going on in the Berkshires, and nobody does it better than the Berkshire Eagle. We've seen it here in the Berkshires just a few weeks ago. A long time weekly newspaper has folded up and stopped production during this coronavirus because of obviously the epidemic. That's why local newspapers are critically important. The Berkshire Eagle has a long, rich, award-winning history, and I hope you all will continue to support this local media, so critically important for all that we try to do here. Judge Fred Rutberg, a long time dear friend. I still call him Judge, even though he's retired. But the president of the Berkshire Eagle is here to give us some greetings, and we thank him from the bottom of our hearts for all that he does for all of us. Judge Rutberg.
Good morning, and thank you, Smitty, for those kind words. I'm a little reluctant to allow someone to introduce me when I don't get to hear what they said. But I trust you because you and I go back so far, and all the great things you've done for our community. I know that whatever you've said about me is fairly true, hopefully funny, and something that I could get behind. I am honored to be here today at the opening of this conference, the 3rd annual Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires Award Breakfast, and I'm proud to have been here for the last 2 of these events. The Berkshire Eagle is a co-sponsor of this event, and we take that very seriously. We're very proud of that as well. Needless to say, these last several months have been unique to all of us. The coronavirus has turned our worlds upside down, made us think about things we haven't thought of, both in business, in life, and culturally, socially, economically. And I think it's essential that we all work together as creatively as possible, as nimbly as possible, to help transition our community to what will hopefully become a new normality that we can live with and be proud of. To that extent, the Berkshire Eagle is here to shine a light on all that's being done to move us to this new normality as quickly and as smoothly as possible. And we look to the nonprofit world for guidance, because you represent so much of the creativity in our community, as well as you've been the real stars and the real heroes of this difficult time. And I'm thinking about all the people that are involved in the healthcare side of the world, of the nonprofit world. So I wish everyone a great event today and a great conference, because this is going to go on for quite a while. And I leave you with one thought, an important thought from our perspective, and that is, please keep supporting quality local journalism. It matters. It matters a lot, especially in times like these. Good luck, and keep doing what you have to do to stay healthy, and look forward to seeing you all in the same room next year.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much, Fred. We love partnering with the Berkshire Eagle. You and your staff are amazing. I don't know if everyone saw in the Sunday paper, there's a 16-page supplement which profiles all the honorees, and it goes to something like 25,000 households. It's a fabulous piece. It's a real keeper, and we love working with the Berkshire Eagle staff to put that together. I want to just say a little bit about the format today. The awards event runs just about 2 hours. Attendees cannot be seen or heard, but you do have some control over how you view your screen. We encourage everyone to use the chat room. You can ask questions. You can congratulate the honorees in real time. You can chat with each other. So please be engaged and do that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Presenters will be joining us and leaving us as we move throughout the awards categories. Most are live, but some are recorded. We recognize, of course, that all of us, presenters and attendees, are watching from home mostly, and internet speeds vary and anything can happen. So please bear with us as we navigate through the ins and outs of producing a virtual event. Speaking of producing, we thank our producer, PJ Moynihan of Digitalized Film Production. He's been terrific, in case any of you are thinking of a major virtual event in the future. Also, Elizabeth Stone, our marketing manager, who's behind the scenes doing all kinds of things. And we also have some board members, PJ Danahy, Eileen Marcus, manning the chat room. We thank all of them for helping us with this undertaking. We hope folks will stick around for our summit on nonprofit sustainability starting at 1 p.m. today. We have a keynote speech by the very funny and inspiring Dr. Maria Sirois, and she'll be talking on resilience, fear, and hope, very appropriately. And you can see the full lineup of offerings at npcberkshires.org. So now we can get on with the awards. Here with us today to present the Executive Leadership Awards is Candace Winkler, Executive Director of Berkshire United Way.
Hi, Liana, do you have me on?
Yes.
Great. So good morning, everyone. Thank you to Liana and Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires for hosting this event again this year. It really is an important time for us to be able to get together and celebrate the resilience of the nonprofit sector and to highlight and recognize our incredible leaders that we have right now. Author John Maxwell said, "The pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, the leader adjusts the sail." And during these uncertain and turbulent times, it's more important than ever that we have leaders that are nimble and creative and can help us navigate through this storm. Before I present the awards, I was asked to share a few minutes about Berkshire United Way. And it's hard to separate out from the current time that we're in. And so I want to give a couple of reflections about what we've been doing at Berkshire United Way, because I think that really highlights our values and our mission. I want to start and just share that for 95 years, Berkshire United Way has been here for good. We are here partnering with our businesses, our donors, and our nonprofit sector. And when COVID-19 hit in early March in our community, there are a couple things that we did. The first was we quickly moved to unrestrict all of our grants because we knew that our nonprofits and our nonprofit leaders were facing uncertain times and they needed all the flexibility they had to be able to respond and best support their clients and their staff during this critical time. We also moved quickly with Berkshire Taconic and in partnership with Northern Berkshire United Way and Williamstown Community Chest to set up the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund. And that was critical because we knew that philanthropy and the nonprofit sector were going to be the fastest way to provide immediate relief to our fellow citizens and our most vulnerable individuals here in the community. And I think we've proven that that's been the case. It has been amazing to see the response from so many of our nonprofits who had to pivot during this critical time. You know, we're proud also and humbled by the donors and the people who stepped up to say, I want to make sure my neighbors are taken care of and they have food and the basic needs that they have during this critical time. So in about 2 months, we raised $2.4 million. We've now distributed that. 100% of the funds are going out to nonprofits. We've distributed over $1.6 million to over 90 nonprofits that are on the front line, being nimble, being resilient, and helping us navigate through this difficult time. I'm just honored to be here among such leaders in our community that during this time have pulled together. And it's not business as usual. It is how do we adjust the sails to make a difference in people's lives and get through this together. So now it is my distinct pleasure to be able to share with you a few of those skilled captains who are being highlighted today for the Executive Leadership Award. This award honors a nonprofit staff leader whose vision, passion, innovation, perseverance, and integrity have led to a strong record of extraordinary organizational results. Our first honoree is Edward A. Forfa, Executive Director of Berkshire Retirement Home, Kathy Kessler, Executive Director of Lewison House, Maureen O'Connell Atwood, Executive Director of the Pediatric Development Center. And now I'm going to tell a little more about these individuals. First, Edward Forfa. In support of the mission of Berkshire Place in providing superior care to the community, Ed has increased the level of services available to the public to include skilled nursing care, outpatient rehabilitation, home care services, and senior living apartments. He is active at all levels of business and encourages staff to participate in the growth process. When Berkshire Place outgrew its former facility, Ed coordinated the building of a new state-of-the-art facility, and then he reimagined the original location as a senior living facility to honor its original purpose when it was constructed by the Crane family back in 1888. Congratulations, Ed. Kathy Kessler. Kathy's efforts have benefited the most vulnerable among us. those who were homeless or at risk of homelessness in Berkshire County. Kathy has worked tireless to strengthen network connections, expand outreach efforts, pursue grants, build cohesive staff with complementary strengths, and create a resident advisory board. Under Kathy's guidance, the mountains of obstacles are reduced to boulder size, capable of being walked over. It's just her way, her mindset, her very presence that makes one believe, because she truly believes it will all work out. Congratulations, Kathy. And finally, Maureen O'Connell Atwood. In her 37-year tenure as Executive Director of the Pediatric Development Center, staff have increased from 5 to 40. The physical space has expanded from 2 rooms to 3 buildings in Pittsfield and Great Barrington. Maureen enthusiastically supports new ideas to meet the ever-changing needs of the communities and families that they serve. She inspires her staff to provide the best clinical expertise possible. And in the face of COVID-19, she supported the use of telehealth capabilities to ensure families were getting continued support in the absence of home visits. It's because of Maureen that PDC is the go-to agency for any questions about the development of children under the age of 3. Congratulations, Maureen. Congratulations to all 3 of these incredible leaders. We will now hear a little bit from each honoree in pre-recorded message.
I want to hear the story of how did you learn that you won this award and who did you tell?
The person that nominated me gave me the heads up that I guess she got notified as well. So she kind of knows that I don't like, to be surprised, or didn't want me to be surprised when I found out. So she interjected and let me know on that. After she told me that and I received the communication, I emailed my wife to let her know. So that's how I found out, I guess. And the first person I told was my wife.
Fantastic. I love that you told her by email. That's great. You couldn't wait to get home. You're like, I'm just going to email her. Awesome.
I old school, I guess.
Okay, so my last question is, I want to hear about the celebration plans now. How do you plan to celebrate this award?
Well, we with everything going on, I'm sure we'll have a toast when the pandemic subsides a bit here and the restaurants and things get going again. So I'm sure it'll be a nice celebration and toast.
Obviously, you're going to come celebrate with us next Tuesday at the big awards party, but do you have any other plans for a fun way you might celebrate this award?
The first thing I'll do is I'll stay at home that morning just to do the meeting there, which will be nice. It's a treat because I'm not working from home. We're, with being a shelter, we're not working from home. We really can't. We have to have residents and everything else. I probably could work part of the time from home, but I feel like I need to be with staff. So I think I'll take the treat by staying in late and taking the nonprofits award from my computer at home. That'll be the first thing. And then what I'll plan ahead someday, we keep saying want to have a lunch with staff. We really can't do it too easily because we never get together. But I got a coupon from something I answer questions on at work for $100. So we'll celebrate by having some kind of lunch with staff sometime after that.
I want to hear the story. Tell me, how did you find out that you had won, and who'd you tell?
Well, first of all, someone on our staff had submitted my name and admitted to it early on before any decisions were made. I think she was concerned I would be unhappy about it or something. So I had an inkling that my name was in the hopper, but I'm not even sure how I heard about it. But when I did, I quickly communicated with my 2 program directors, Melissa Roller and Terry Sash, as to sort of share the award with me, because we all work very hard at PDC. And one of the things we're always trying to do is make sure that families and other care providers know that we're here and know about the work that we're doing. So I'm excited that it's an award that really highlights, I suppose, me, but really more importantly, the work that we all do here at PDC.
Hi, everyone. State Senator Adam Hines here, and I couldn't let this event go by without contributing my my hellos and my congratulations to the honorees. Boy, do we need each of you now more than ever, each of you who are being honored tonight, and you bring so much to the fabric of this community and so much to making us who we are and the issues that we need to be continued to stay focused on. And the same goes for every single one of you, the membership. We can't get through this without each other. And if anything, we've seen through COVID that the inequities we're confronting and the challenges that we face as a region, they've all been exposed, and the spotlight has been shined on them. And the good news here is that we now know what we need to do differently moving forward. And it's because all of you are doing your work that we're going to end up better than we were before this. We do need to lock elbows for a period here. A lot of our institutions are going to be struggling to figure out how we get from one day to the next and one season to the next. And we're going to have to do this together. But it is also the case, and some of you have heard me say this, that we're going to be better off at the other side of this COVID precisely because we now have been exposed to the major ills of our society. We've been exposed to the fact that people actually will want to move here because of this. They'll want to find a place where we can distance safely and work remotely and live amongst nature and culture. And so I think if we can bear this, if we can make it through the coming period, we're going to be better off as a result. And it's because of all the work that you're doing. So let's lock arms and keep walking together. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Senator Hines. And I noticed the poster behind you said Ski Berkshires. I think we need to change that to Be Berkshires. But congratulations to the honorees, and a big thank you to Candace Winkler. She's new to the Berkshires. She didn't come here thinking a worldwide pandemic was going to be breaking out, but her leadership and her deep dive into the culture of the Berkshires is appreciated by all, and I think we're going to come out better for it at the end because of her leadership. So Candace, thank you for joining us today. And now to help us present the Rising Star Award is Allison Brigham. She's the marketing manager of Lee Bank.
Am I there?
You are here.
Okay, great. Good morning, and thank you all for joining us today to honor so many deserving members of the nonprofit sector with these awards. My role in the marketing department at Lee Bank has given me unique and valuable insight into the vital role of nonprofits in our community here in Berkshire County. As a community bank, I'm proud to say that in 2019, Lee Bank supported over 200 local organizations and events throughout the year and increased our total giving by 20% from 2018. It's wonderful to see so many familiar names and faces being recognized here today. And I'm pleased to be able to announce the 2020 honorees in the Rising Star category. As a judge of this set of applications, I can say firsthand that each of you has truly earned this honor. The Rising Star Award honors a relative newcomer to the Berkshire nonprofit sector who has demonstrated the potential of making a significant impact on the community. The Rising Star honorees are Sharon Fraser McLean, Community Engagement Coordinator at Barrington Stage Company; Jenny Malloy, Youth Librarian at Stockbridge Library Association; and Caroline Wheeler, Founder and Executive Director at Sisters for Peace. We invite you all to congratulate our Rising Star honorees using the chat function. Sharon Fraser McLean has been instrumental in Barrington Stage Company's internal education efforts around justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and plans workshop sessions with the theater staff to learn more about these issues and how they intersect with their work. She is passionate about her faith and uses her church connections to aid BSC's community outreach. Sharon has wholeheartedly jumped into BSC's work as a peer mentor through the Playwright Mentoring Project and pioneered a new program called Sister Circle that provides a supportive space for local opioid-addicted women with young children to gather, share their stories, and use theater to learn helpful coping and conflict resolution strategies under clinical supervision. Miss Jenny Malloy, positively impacts the Stockbridge Library Association with her strong leadership and enthusiasm for the Children's Department. She builds and maintains a robust collection of books for the youth patrons, middle school readers, and young adults. She is dedicated to offering relevant, entertaining, and engaging programs for all ages, and has a large following because of her energy, thoughtful programming, and positive attitude. Caroline Wheeler's tireless leadership has helped empower low-income women in the Berkshires and underprivileged women around the world to reach their goals. She single-handedly designed, planned, and implemented the first 20-week REACH program last year, designed to directly address transportation, childcare, nutrition, mental health, financial literacy, career development, and more. Because of Caroline's work, many women and girls have been able to find support, get an education, become financially stable, and rise out of poverty. And now I'll let you hear from each of our rising stars.
Can you tell me a little bit about what makes you passionate about this work that you're involved in?
So for me, before I even started working at Barrington in community engagement, I've always been involved in my community, trying to look out for the forgotten people, number one, minorities, and just people who tend to fly under the radar. So when I took the job at Barrington, I went in with the intentions of being the voice for my people, whether it's young people, whether it's moms, or whether it's minorities. So I used it as an opportunity to not only engage with my community more, but to also have their voice authentically heard and to always take action steps behind whatever information that I get.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So you found out about this award. I'm so curious to hear, how did you find out? How did you first hear about it? Who's the first person you told? How did the word spread?
I was taking a nap, actually, and my boss called and said, check your email, check your email. I didn't want to admit to her that I was taking a nap and not working. So I got on my email and I discovered that I had won. But there was no information about who had nominated me. But I knew that this had my coworker, Maria Lynch, written all over it. And so I really wanted to chat with her when I found out that I had won, to just thank her for, she's kind of the resident cheerleader at the Stockbridge Library. She's a great coworker. She's just so enthusiastic about the work we do. She's enthusiastic about the work that I do. She's so supportive. And this only could have, she is the only one that probably would have nominated me. And I was just so grateful and thankful. And I was excited to connect with her about that.
Tell me the story of how you found out that you won this award, and tell me about who you told when you found out.
Okay, so I got an email, and I had no idea that this woman who was my staff member, was a staff member, nominated me. I had no idea that I was nominated. So when I got the email, I was really shocked. And I was in my living room with my husband, quarantining, coronavirus. And so I told him, which was perfect because he's my biggest fan and my biggest supporter. And so to be able to tell him was great because I knew he'd be so happy for me. Normally, he'd probably take me out to dinner. We'd have a party or a dinner party at our house. But since we can't do that, I was thinking of maybe like having a little Zoom celebration with my staff and just kind of celebrating all of them and me and just all the work that we've done. So I'm thinking about some ideas about ways to be creative.
That was terrific. Now, please join me in welcoming our presenter for the Board Leadership Awards, Peter Taylor, President of Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation.
Thank you, Liana. It's an honor for Berkshire Taconic to sponsor this important award again this year. And thanks to the Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires for establishing this annual tradition to celebrate the nonprofit sector's contributions to our region's vibrancy, high quality of life, and community well-being. Over the last 2 months, we have been inspired again and again by the resolve and the resilience of nonprofits around the region. As Candace Winkler spotlighted earlier, it has been a privilege for Berkshire Taconic to collaborate with United Way and other funders to mobilize philanthropy to provide critical emergency response resources to nonprofits serving the most vulnerable. We also recognize that this crisis will have a long tail, and philanthropy will need to continue to support nonprofits through the subsequent reimagining, recovery, and rebuilding phases. Indeed, one of Berkshire Taconic's core strengths is the depth and strength of the nonprofit community, and its impact never has been as important as it is during this crisis. Volunteer leaders serving on nonprofit boards are working tirelessly with dedicated staff to guide organizations through these extraordinary times. Thank you. One of Berkshire Taconic's strategic priorities is strengthening community engagement by supporting efforts that harness the skills and expertise people can bring to organizations through board leadership. This was true before the crisis and will remain a priority for us in the months ahead. Board leadership is about service and giving back. It's also about responsibility, making decisions, tracking performance, ensuring accountability, and helping gather the necessary resources to effectively advance the organization's mission. These components come together to make board service one of the most meaningful and consequential ways to serve and to be a volunteer leader in one's community. This award is given to a board member who demonstrates commitment to prudent use of all assets, provides oversight for activities that advance effectiveness and sustainability, and ensures compliance with applicable laws and ethical practices, and also a board member who serves on multiple committees within an organization. I'm now pleased to present the honorees. Sue Doucette is president of the Berkshire County Head Start and Child Development Program. Ann Gallo is the board clerk of IS 183, the art school of the Berkshires, and Arwen Lowbridge is vice president and board of directors of WHAM Theater. Here are some testimonials about each of the honorees. Sue Doucette brings great knowledge and ideas to our program as board president, demonstrating encouraging leadership and seeing us through challenging transitions. Sue engages with our staff, is intentional about expressing her gratitude for the work they do, always demonstrating how much she values what others have to say. She led the search for a new executive director, participated in the strategic planning process, and created a fundraising committee. She is a champion for our staff and the families we serve. Ann Gallo has proven to be a North Star, ensuring all of the organization's decisions prudently serve its mission and move IS 183 into a stronger future. She always is thinking of and suggesting special assignments that will better the school and widen our impact. She drafted a board handbook, serves as clerk and governance committee, and also volunteered to work with our students to produce a student art show. Anne has been supportive every step of the way as a sounding board, as a sanity check, and as IS 183's #1 cheerleader. Arwen Lowbridge can see the big picture across multiple areas and is the prudent voice around use of assets. Arwen has been the chair of our strategic planning committee for the past 3 years and serves as an advisor in our development work. She has done everything from volunteering at the annual gala to organizing WHAM's 100th club party, our annual party for donors of $100 or more. She encourages us to dig deeper around the perspectives of each decision to ensure that we can get the highest level success for our people and the highest level of good towards our Whamily. Congratulations to our honorees. Now let's hear them now in this pre-recorded segment.
Of course, you're going to be celebrating with us at the awards breakfast, but I'm wondering if there's anything else special that you're doing to celebrate this award.
You know, that question puzzled me because I thought, first of all, I could say, yeah, I'm going to go to Disneyland, but it being really sarcastic, and you people don't know me, so you wouldn't necessarily know I'm being sarcastic. How am I going to celebrate? I'm really still puzzled by that question. I'm going to continue doing the work that I love to do and honor the people who are doing that work. Like, I'm on the board. The teachers at Berkshire County Head Start and the staff are the ones who are really doing that work. I see my role as being a cheerleader for them. I do other things too, but right now, especially in this time, it's being a cheerleader for them and helping to support them as they support others. You know, it really does take a village. So how am I going to celebrate? I don't know. I'm going to continue doing the work that I do.
What are you doing to celebrate this?
I'm just going to keep working harder for IS 183 to make sure that the Berkshires during this time will see it on the other side in a very different way, but just make sure that everybody's going to be okay on the other side. And I'm really happy, oddly happy that I'm on the board now with this organization, because this is when you really need board members to step up and really help and support.
When you got the news that you had been an awardee of this honor, who was the first person you told, and was there any special ritual that you used to tell them with?
It's funny, I heard about receiving this award from other people, actually, before I learned about it myself. So people texted me and sent me links to things and said, yay! So the first person I told was my husband, and he's lived and breathed all of my commitment to WHAM over the last couple of years, so he was not surprised, but we did have, we had like a nice little dinner, and I'm actually, I'm really excited to be able to share it with the world, because, yeah, I don't really like to promote myself very much. I'm very shy about things like this, so it gives me a good excuse.
Well, good morning, everybody. Tricia Farley-Bouvier here. Oh, how I wish I was with you at the Berkshire Hills Country Club, in a big room with 300 of us having a nice breakfast. But instead, I'm joining you from the little alcove in my kitchen, my starter plants behind me. And this is where I meet with people all over the state, which has been a really kind of a great way to cut down on my commute, I have to say. But anyway, what I really want to do today is to just genuinely thank you for all your amazing work during these most difficult times, especially for nonprofits. I have seen so many of you step up in big ways and small ways to help our community. And it's just not possible for me to find the words to thank you as much as I want to thank you. So whether you are a super staffer, or you are a young leader, or you are a board member that has stepped up in a big way, I really want to congratulate you sincerely
on winning this award, because it's not just over the last few months, but it's over years of work that you have earned the gratitude and the esteem of your colleagues in receiving these awards. I hope everybody has a great day.
Again, congratulations to the honorees. And I want to pick up where Tricia said that our commute's very different now. I used to get 30 miles to the gallon. Now I get 3 weeks to a tank full. So I think we're doing actually pretty good. But congratulations again to all those wonderful honorees. Up next to present the volunteer award. And if I can just digress for a second, congratulations to all the honorees. But Judy Nardacci, I have to tell you, when I first got elected many years ago, it was Judy Nardacci that educated me so much on some critical issues that were affecting Massachusetts and set the stage for worldwide discussion. So Judy, congratulations to you, and a big shout out, and thank you for all that you've done. But the volunteer awards will be presented by my longtime dear friend from the Berkshire Bank Foundation, Lori Gazillo-Kiley.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I think that is a yes. Thank you for having me today. I am really honored to be able to present the Volunteer Awards, both because volunteering is such an integral part of the culture of Berkshire Bank, and we pride ourselves on our 100% participation in our employee volunteer program that we call the X Team, and because we're recognizing one of our own this morning, and we couldn't be more proud. Berkshire Bank Foundation is so pleased to once again support this event as it recognizes those that go above and beyond to serve our community. And I'd like to take a minute to thank Liana for her steadfast work in supporting and providing resources to the many organizations in Berkshire County that make up our nonprofit community. Anne Frank said, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." And all of our nominees have certainly not waited one moment. They have consistently stepped up, rolled up their sleeves, and helped out wherever needed. We so appreciate you now more than ever, and I'd like to add my thanks to all of you for what you have done to make this world a better place. I'm presenting the Volunteer Awards, which is an award that honors the volunteers who have shown outstanding dedication to a nonprofit or multiple nonprofit organizations. The honorees are Melissa Myers, President of Berkshire Community College Alumni Association, and also a compliance analyst at Berkshire Bank. Judy Nardacci, Secretary for the Berkshire Coalition for Suicide Prevention. And David Russell, Project Manager at Barrington Stage Company. Melissa is the chair of the BCC Alumni Board of Advisors and the elected alumni trustee on the Board of Trustees of BCC. She puts in approximately 375 hours annually connecting with recent graduates, passing on the roles and responsibilities of being an alum, and creating opportunities for future leaders to grow and learn. She leads the board, organizes events, and volunteers at college events like commencement, and constantly feeds the board recruitment pipeline with new talent. Melissa is a champion and ambassador of the college and is living proof of its mission. Judy has helped bring BCSP from a loosely organized grassroots group to one of the most successful regional coalitions in the state. Judy brings common sense, wisdom, and a strong sense of social justice to discussions. Her positive energy, enthusiastic attitude, and willingness to help with everything and anything are an inspiration to all who work with her. Volunteering 500 hours per year, Judy is an empathetic and supportive listener who may have missed her calling as a counselor. She has made it a personal mission to promote acceptance of and support for people in the LGBTQ community. She has truly been a pioneer in supporting LGBTQ individuals and their allies. Dave Russell has been a project manager since 2006 when Barrington Stage Company moved into the old music hall on Union Street in Pittsfield. Since that massive project, he has donated 450 hours of his time annually to aid in the growth of the organization. He sits on the facilities committee and advises Barrington Stage on any building project, big or small. He is available whenever they have a question about a renovation or an upgrade and gives them his expertise freely and graciously. Dave's impact is stealthy and unsung. He thinks beyond the physical building and considers those who will be using it, from employees to patrons. If Barrington Stage were to put up a plaque wherever Dave's handiwork can be seen, their spaces would be covered with plaques. Congratulations to all of our honorees, and let's hear from our honorees now in this pre-recorded segment.
Tell me what makes you passionate about this work.
I've attended BCC at 2 different times in my life. Both times, it gave me direction when I needed it. BCC was there when I needed it. And I want that for anyone else who needs it.
Of course, you're going to come hang out with us at the awards breakfast, but I want to hear how else you're going to celebrate this award.
I have to say, I really haven't thought about that at all. It'll be definitely, maybe we'll get some takeout that we'll pick up and, have a glass of wine here, maybe, some champagne, and celebrate with my husband.
So I want to hear how you're planning to celebrate this award.
In my virtual home with my virtual self and my husband, who is the only person who lives there with me full time. We have a cat who could not care less. But I think by recommitting to the work we're doing, it makes a difference to have it recognized, but it doesn't mean that I'm done with it or that any of us is done with it. And we're doing as much as we can virtually now. We've used part of the money that we usually get in state grants to support the community, the Elizabeth pantries, and initiatives that can help people who are struggling in other ways. So the celebration will be recommitting, I think, rededicating and working some more on this because we're far from done.
You found out about this award. I want to hear the story. How did you find out that you won? And then when you found out, who did you tell? And is there any fun story about how you told them?
I did get an email from Elizabeth Stone. She's been, by the way, very helpful in this process of dealing with the award and what comes after that. But of course, my wife was in our office with me when I got the email. And I read it to her like, okay, I got this email. I wasn't thinking it was anything special until I read it, of course. And so she was the first one to know, although the first person I really talked to in depth about it was Joe Martin. He's the production manager at Barrington Stage, who I work with a lot. So he also has responsibility for the facilities. And I kind of said, Joe, I got this award. What do you know about that? Are you responsible? And of course he was, not him alone, but he knew about it as a nomination. I don't think he knew that I'd been selected yet. So we had a cup of coffee over that.
It's my pleasure to introduce NPC board member Ulrich Enschel to present the brand new category of Youth Leadership Awards.
Thank you, Liana, for the introduction. I want to preface this with a brief message and say thank you to those who are on the front lines fighting coronavirus. None of this would be possible without you, and this award ceremony wouldn't have been able to take place without you. So simply put, thank you. Now, the Samya Rose Stumo Youth Leadership Award acknowledges individuals aged between 17 and 27 who have contributed meaningfully to the Berkshire nonprofit sector, either through volunteer or paid work. They have demonstrated passion and dedication to one or more causes or organizations, made a difference in the lives of people in our community, and achieved outstanding accomplishments early in life. In addition, each awardee will receive a $250 mini grant from a Berkshire business to further the nonprofit mission he or she cares most about. This award was named for Samya Rose Stumo of Sheffield, who died in March of 2019 in the crash of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 en route to Kenya. Now, in 2019, I was invited to serve as a judge for the second annual NPC Awards, and I was truly humbled and taken back by a lot of the applications that were submitted on the behalf of my fellow community members. And what I found was, as great as the applications were, there weren't very many applications submitted on the behalf of the youth community. And as a fellow youth member in the Berkshires, I knew that we were doing our part, but some of the awards favored the older demographics. And I really wanted to do something set aside to highlight our efforts and what we contribute to the Berkshire County. And in addition, I thought it was fitting to name the NPC's Youth Leadership Award after Samya to commemorate her altruistic contributions to the nonprofit sector and appropriately illuminate her impact. And it's my hope that others will be drawn to Samya's character and find it in themselves to continue to lead and uplift this community with their contributions, no matter how large or small. So thank you. And now I will pass it to PJ Danahy, my fellow NPC board member, who will be reading the bios.
Thank you, Arik, for introducing the Youth Award. Our award winners are Ray Bridges, co-chair of the Environmental and Climate Justice Committee of the NAACP, Berkshire County branch. Sarah Rawson, co-chair of the Southern Berkshire Health Coalition, and Alex Ziha, Youth Board co-president, drop-in volunteer, and group facilitator at the Roots Northern Berkshire Teen Center. Starting with Ray Bridges. Ray is an asset to the Berkshire branch of the NAACP as an expert in his field, environmental and climate justice, as well as a mentor in sessions, life skills, and training. His Youth Nature Immersion program creates opportunities for homeschooled and unschooled youth to create a supportive circle that fosters creativity, problem solving, communication, and connection to the natural world. Ray has a powerful ability to work with individuals from all walks of life. He is leading the pack when it comes to the next generation of NAACP leaders. This grant is provided by United Personnel. Sarah Rawson. Sarah was instrumental in the organizing of the 411 and the 413 countywide youth conference to support health and wellness issues in our region. Her leadership of a wellness development team at Monument Mountain Regional High School, coupled with researching best practices, surveying students, and assessing current program needs, will culminate in a new 9th grade intro to wellness course. Sarah is deeply committed to the health and well-being of others and our community and is a powerful advocate for social change. Thanks to her efforts, wellness has been incorporated into our strategic plan for school redesign. This grant is provided by Lee Bank. Alex Ziha. Alex has worked to create and facilitate one of the only LGBTQIA+ groups for young people in Berkshire County that operates after school hours. They have gotten involved with youth leadership and organized a recurring group meeting for a community in need. Alex's work on the youth board has made a considerable impact on the effects that Roots is able to have on the community at large. As soon as Alex turned 18, they attended a voluntary training so that they could cover the drop-in shifts at Roots as a volunteer youth worker. Alex is always working toward what can make Roots a stronger place for the young people it serves. This grant was provided by Bill Sverluga, excuse me on the pronunciation there, and Lucy Gerald of Williamstown. And now we'll get to hear from our youth honorees. Thank you.
So tell me the story about how you learned about this award.
I was going through my emails and came across the email and I was really taken by surprise just because, I really feel like I'm just stepping into my role in this community of being, a pillar of support and helping kind of move things. and like really understanding that I live in an area where like even small moves are acknowledged and the gratitude is expressed for those things. It was really just like, wow, like I feel so grateful to be where I am, to like live in this community and be a part of this community.
Could you tell me a little bit about what makes you so passionate about this work?
I'm really passionate about the well-being of my fellow students. When I came to high school, I really started to notice a lot of my friends, my close friends, and just my peers who are struggling, especially with substance abuse and substance addiction. And that's really what like struck me and got me sort of on the path that I've taken for the last 2 years. I'm really working on supporting student well-being and student wellness in my community. So that's really like the passion that drives me, is my fellow students and peers struggling, and just a drive to sort of try and do anything I can to help them.
Wait, how did you find out that you won this award, and who was the first person you told?
I found out about this award. I got an email, and I told my mom first because she likes to know when I get awards or like what's going on in my life. So I told her.
How'd you tell her? Was there any special way that you told her?
I just texted her.
Nice.
Today we gather virtually to recognize the nonprofits who work together to make the Berkshires a better place. I should add that I admire the new ways you all have quickly come together. The success of your recent virtual town hall exemplifies how committed and resilient the NPC and its community partners truly are. So with this note, I would like to offer a special congratulations to the institutions, staff, volunteers, and board members for your daily contributions to our community. I miss seeing all of your faces. Thank you each for all that you do and for giving me a reason to wear a tie again. One more note. Please do not hesitate to reach out to our office if you need any assistance. Signing off.
Okay, and now what may be the hardest category of all, the super staffer. As all of you know, to run a good organization, you need quality staff. As a legislator, I know I can speak for my colleagues to say we're only successful because of our staff. So how do you narrow down a super staffer? Well, we're going to put that burden on Krista Collier, the Northern Berkshire United Way Executive Director. Thanks for joining us this morning, Krista.
Thank you. Oops. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to, well, I guess I can't see all of you, I wanted to say. Old habits die hard, I suppose. Can everybody see me okay?
You're good, Krista.
All right, great, thank you. This award is given to a nonprofit staff member whose work has had a significant impact on an organization. They have been recognized by their peers for exhibiting a can-do attitude, demonstrating a high level of commitment and responsibility, and going above and beyond the job description. Our super staffer honorees are Dale Abrams, Education Director, Mass Audubon, Berkshire Wildlife Sanctuaries. Tasia Giles, Director of Community Engagement, Jacob's Pillow Dance. And Alita Monchecki, Deputy Director, Berkshire Community Action Council. Since Dale's arrival in 2016, public programs increased 283%, a formalized internship program was created, grant funding was secured, the education team grew to include a third full-time teacher naturalist, and volunteer hours increased by a whopping 880%. Although Dale's workload is huge, he's willing to jump in and help whenever needed. He's been known to clean gutters, work a 16-hour day, write a grant in almost one sitting, teach 4 back-to-back programs in one day, and throw on a pair of waders to find a wood turtle. Dale approaches his position at Mass Audubon as his life's work. His deep passion for protecting and stewarding land, as well as the people who inhabit the land, is evident in so many ways. Tasia represents Jacob's Pillow across the Berkshires community while embracing the diverse needs and differences within it. She holds her organization accountable as a true partner in the community, evident to anyone who has experienced one of the community programs offered by Jacob's Pillow in the schools. Tasia truly listens to others and responds. She is thoughtful, compassionate, and passionate about how dance can provide creative outlet, healing, and build community. She is both dedicated to her work and driven. Our community is so much better for Tasia's tireless efforts of promoting equity and inclusion through movement. Alita is a hardworking and compassionate team player. She is a tireless advocate for the low-income residents of Berkshire County, engaging others to create systemic change to improve the lives of those struggling with the issues of poverty. Alita exemplifies the mission and heart of the agency. Several years ago, when the cold Berkshire winter was approaching, Alita met a homeless man sleeping in his car. She immediately went to work, finding him room in a hotel, and eventually securing him a bed in a shelter. It was the final act of compassion and love when she invited him to her house for Thanksgiving dinner. Alita is our voice at the table, our spirit in the community, and our heart in the work we do. Let's now hear from our honorees in this pre-recorded segment.
For me, this award is about basking in the moment that is now, having a team that at Berkshire Wildlife Sanctuaries, that's exactly the people I'd love to be working with. We have an amazing office manager. We have an amazing Becky Cushing, our director, and a team of educators who share my passion equally, and we can all nerd out together about all our nature loves and passions and share that with the kids and adults and everyone who are our program participants and school program participants. So it's all about our team, and it's all about who I get to work with that make this award special to me.
Thank you, first of all, for this recognition. And I'm passionate about people and partnerships. And through my work, I get to work with community across so many sectors in Berkshire County. And I have the opportunity to do this with movement and dance. And I believe that dance and movement is universal. We all have a body, and we are all inherently connected through that body. And what movement brings to this work, whether it's learning math in a classroom or connecting to your professional calling in a healthcare setting, is that it brings us together. It sparks joy. It helps us to process our work in a new way and spark creativity and connection. And that is really the foundation for my work, is people, connections, and what movement can do to unlock us and connect us.
All right, so I want you to tell me the story of how did you find out you won, and then who did you tell when you found out?
I seen it in an email, and I didn't really understand it at first. I thought that it was between me and two other people, and I called my husband right away and said, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe this." And we just talked about it. I says, "Well, I haven't won anything yet. It's between 3 people. I'm not really sure." And then I kind of researched it and paid more attention to what was going on. And I thought, wow. And then the second person would be people that I work with, but the first person was my husband.
Have you figured out who nominated you?
It was our executive director, and she showed me what she had sent in. I was shocked and stunned and honored that she felt that way.
And now we have Ellen Kennedy, president of Berkshire Community College, to present the Unsung Hero Awards.
Thank you, Liana. This award honors the contribution of a nonprofit staff or volunteer member in any area of the organization whose good work has not been publicly recognized in the Berkshire community. The honorees today are Sabrina Allard, Deputy Director, Railroad Street Youth Project, Joseph Adrian Gunn, Custodian and Playwright Mentoring Project Peer Mentor, Barrington Stage Company, and Mary Jo Ramos, long-term volunteer with the Berkshire Immigrant Center. Please give shout outs to each of these awardees today. Sabrina Allard is a bright light at Railroad Street Youth Project. She oversees programs, coalitions, and collectives that bring empowerment to community and youth voice to the table. In every aspect of programming, Sabrina is creative and innovative in her approach to engaging youth and intentional about making them a part of the work. She has an inviting and empowering presence and brings her passion for the arts to her work in helping young people discover their potential. As a custodian, Jo Gunn maintains facilities and keeps the office space clean and sanitary. As a teaching artist and peer mentor, Jo is compassionate and empathetic. His most recent work in this capacity has been with teenage participants in the Barrington Stage Playwright Mentoring Project's court-mandated group. Jo is an important role model when it comes to positive masculinity, showing the young men he works with that it is okay to display emotion and show vulnerability. The stories about him connecting with the teens he mentors are endless. His contributions to the culture and the work of the organization are enormous. Our final awardee today is Mary Jo Ramos. She is a long-term volunteer who plays a key role helping the caseworkers support clients applying for immigrant benefits. She translates documents from Spanish to English, organizes the office, assists the front desk, and represents the center at fairs and other events. Mary Jo grew up in Puerto Rico and is a retired Spanish teacher. She understands the struggles of the immigrant community. Mary Jo has the sensibility needed to work with a population that is often discriminated against. She always has a positive attitude and a smile. Others benefit from her happiness and her good spirit. And now let's hear from our awardees. Congratulations to all of you.
Do you have any fun plans to celebrate and honor yourself for this?
Well, honestly, I was thinking that the celebration would be the awards, and then I saw this question and I was like, oh, what else am I going to do? So how I like to celebrate, so this is how I'm picturing celebrating this. I like to celebrate with sweets, first of all. So I'm probably going to have indulge in something sweet, maybe cake, maybe cookies, something like that. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe go for a walk. It's kind of a strange thing, I guess, for me to be answering like the celebrating part, because I feel like I've been celebrating ever since I heard about it, just celebrating with, either family or friends or my coworkers. To see my coworkers celebrate this award has been really cool. I don't know, I'm just going to bask in like, this is amazing. I feel completely honored. And I'm just going to keep doing the work. That's what it's about.
The most passionate thing I'd say, like, attribute I have to bring to my job is going above and beyond. So, like, whatever's needed, because I work for Barrington Stage and I do maintenance, facilities. I help out wherever they need me. But the playwright mentoring program with the kids, the teens that I do, I'd say getting them comfortable and then feeling acclimated in a safe environment. So whether that means me being completely myself, goofy, and being vulnerable for them and, letting them know it's okay to be ourselves, I go extra for that, to make people feel comfortable. Or whether it's just helping somebody out if they need a hand or a shoulder or ear, When I first heard about it, I was at work and someone like congratulated me and I was like, what? I never check my email because I'm horrible at checking emails. But yeah, so I called my mom and I told my mom that I got an award, and I was baffled. Like, I completely didn't expect this. So, she was real proud. So I was happy to make my mom happy.
So there's like a million causes in Berkshire County. What was it that drew you to this cause?
My husband found out about it. There was an ad in the paper where they were
asking for volunteers, especially for translating. So and helping the immigrants. So that really, I'm from Puerto Rico. We're not immigrants, as you know, but I can relate to a lot of the things that they're going through. And so it was special for me to be able to help them.
And now for our final category, but before we get to that, I just want to thank again the honorees, congratulate them, and thank President Kennedy for once again joining in to help us out. It's unanimous. We love your accent, so make sure you're back here next year. But the last award is I can't think of a better person to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm honored to introduce a community leader from the NAACP, Will Singleton, to present that Lifetime Achievement Award.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce the Lifetime Achievement honoree, Ray Gunn, who is presently the chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Clinton Church Restoration Project. This award honors an individual who has dedicated his or her life to being a leader and role model and has made an enduring and profound difference in the community and in the lives of the people who live in the community. Ray Gunn is a well-known and beloved community leader in the Berkshires. He's a longtime Sheffield resident whose influence was evident in high school and throughout his life. His community service and quiet activism have manifested themselves in many ways. He broke racial barriers at school and work. He was a longtime trustee and trustee chair of his family's church. He co-chaired a local 1969 Human Rights Commission that led to the founding of Construct Incorporated, for which he served as a charter member and president. For decades, he held leadership roles with Sheffield's Historical Society and Planning Board, and the local Lions Club. A longtime member of the NAACP, Ray has worked for decades to honor the legacy of W.E.B. Du Bois and the region's rich African-American heritage. He has done all of this with his equally committed wife, Cora Portnoy, by his side. Ray is known by many for being friendly and having a positive outlook on life. Ray is a charismatic and natural leader. He jokes that some of his skills may have been honed during his years as a referee. Quote, "I've got the whistle. I make the final decision, so this is it," unquote. Those who have worked closely with him also know Ray for his honesty, patience, integrity, courage, and kindness. When Ray Gunn's family relocated from Atlanta to the Berkshires in the early 1940s, they had to sit in a segregated car at the back of a train. In the North, where their family roots dated back to the 1700s, the Gunn brothers were among the very few black students in town. When overt segregation was less common, discrimination persisted. Undeterred, Ray broke down barriers wherever he found them. As a teen, he and his brothers played on previously all-white sports teams. As a college student at UMass Amherst, he became the first African-American athlete to play basketball and the first to be named captain of a varsity team. He broke ground during a 40-year career as an analytic chemist at Pfizer, and again during his 4 decades as an official of local basketball, baseball, and soccer games. After 9 decades, he remains unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ray Gunn.
Well, it seems like I've been impassioned with nonprofit work for a long time now. I've worked with a lot of charities and I worked with a lot of nonprofits here in South County. I have been with the Sheffield Historical Society for a long time. I have been with the mainstay of the Great Barrington Lions Club for a long time. And what we do is we do work to help people in the community. And it always gives me a great sense of pleasure to do something for people and they appreciate it. You know, you don't need to ask them if they like it. You can tell from the expression in their face and how they look at you and how grateful they are that somebody was there to help answer their needs. So that sort of affects me. I was an umpire here in Berkshire County for a long time, and I was always on the wrong end of the stick. Well, when I got out of that, I turned it around so that I could help people out more, and they wouldn't have to criticize me as much.
Congratulations, Ray. Congratulations, Ray. I can't think of anybody more deserving than you. You've been a family friend for longer than I've been alive, but the Gunn family is legendary in the Southern Berkshires, and the dear friendships that you've shown my father over the years before he passed, and certainly on to me. I do think they over-exaggerated your umpiring skills. 45 years ago, you called me out on strikes in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded. I've never recovered from that, and your only excuse to this day is you shouldn't have swung at the ball, Smitty. Irregardless, I can't think of anybody more deserving than you, Ray. You and Cora have been the dynamic duo of the Southern Berkshires for a long time. The Clinton Church will get restored because of your leadership and your integrity. So big shout out to you. Congratulations. We're way ahead of schedule. Despite all the politicians talking, we're still ahead of schedule. We can all get back to work at some point. I do want to pick up what AJ had said about dressing up. It actually felt pretty good today to put on a suit and tie and actually shave and comb my hair. We got a little back to normal. It's a new normal. But as long as we stay safe and healthy, we're gonna weather this storm. I do have to admit, though, I had to download a YouTube video on how to tie a tie. So I hope this looks okay. It's been quite a while since I had to get dressed up like this, but it's been a pleasure to be here with you. And we just want to thank you for joining us. Congratulations again to all of the honorees. Thank you to our sponsors for helping us shine a light on these wonderful people. Visit the MPC website for more information about the upcoming Nonprofit Sustainability Summit. And please continue to support the Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires so that we can continue more programs like that. And with that, I want to bring Liana back up here because I want to make a personal contribution to you to say congratulations. This is not the event that you envisioned, but I hope that you'll get some feedback and some comments that it was all very positive and we can get back to some normalcy. But I want to present this check to you to say thank you for your wonderful work and continued virtual high fives.
Wow.
Okay, and a virtual hug.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And before I turn it over to PJ, who will let us know about what's going on for the rest of the day, I just want to say that the nonprofit sector, we heard it earlier, 25% of our workforce. We've all taken it on the chin the last several months. And until they find a vaccine, I think the next several months are going to be a challenge as well. With the heartbreaking news that Tanglewood has decided to cancel their 2020 season, that's a game changer for all of us. All of us, not only on this video here today, all of us who are watching, but for all of us in the Berkshires. But I really believe if we stick together, we work together, we be Berkshire. We will survive this. We will be better for it at the end of the day. It'll be a challenge, but let's all be Berkshire and we'll be better in the end. So now, PJ, we're going to turn it over to you to kind of wrap up and let people know what they're in for this afternoon. Thank you, Liana, for allowing me to be here again today. You and I are dear friends. I love what you're doing. I'm happy to support what you're doing. And for everybody out there who's watching, spread the word. This is a good thing, and we need to do more of it. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Thanks so much, Representative Smitty, for keeping it light and fun. What a great community event this morning. Thanks, everyone. It was really, truly inspiring to spend the morning with you and to really bring so much positivity and camaraderie forward as a community team with all the great things and the great efforts being made in the nonprofit sector. So here's what's on deck for this afternoon. We had originally had I guess it's lunchtime now, but it's an early lunch since we're a little ahead of schedule. But at 12:15, grab your lunch and check out our virtual art show. It's going to be featuring artwork and performance from area cultural organizations. At 1 p.m., we have our inspirational speaker, Dr. Maria Sirwa, and she will be presenting her presentation, Holding It All, Resilience, Fear, and Hope. After that, at 2 p.m., we have Paul Silva and Kelly Mitten, and they will be presenting Innovation Accelerator Premortem. At 3:30, we'll break for some coffee or tea for 15 minutes. And then finally, at 3:45 today, our panel of corporate philanthropists will discuss their giving philosophies, the effects of COVID-19, and nonprofit sustainability. Thanks again for attending our 3rd Annual Nonprofit Award Ceremony. And be well, we'll see you soon.